Good afternoon, and thank you for being here today for the State of the City, sponsored and hosted by the South San Francisco Chamber of Commerce. And Maria, thank you once again. So it's an honor for me to stand in front of you in reflection, celebration, and with vision, a vision developed and shared by my colleagues on the City Council, Vice Mayor Mark Gallego, Council members Pradeep Gupta, Carol Matsumoto, and Liza Normandy. I am truly honored to serve with such a wonderful group of public servants who are all focused on improving South San Francisco and the lives of our residents and merchants. And in addition, I just want to say that this city and you are all fortunate to have these folks, your council members, represent you on boards and commissions at the state, county, regional, and local levels. They're doing one heck of a good job, and thank you for serving. Today is about remembering the past while preparing for the future. It's about honoring the space between what was and what will be. Exactly 100 years ago, the Panama Pacific Exposition opened in San Francisco, a magnificent World's Fair celebrating San Francisco's recovery from the 1906 earthquake, which destroyed much of the region. 100 years later, we too celebrate our own recovery, ours from the recent recession which crippled the economy. I can confidently say the economy in South San Francisco is strong and secure. Once again, the people of South San Francisco have proven that ours is a resilient city, a city of initiative, a city of innovation, a city of spirited resourcefulness and grand vision. 100 years ago, South San Francisco was the celebrated home of a growing steel industry, which built a great nation, won 2 wars, and created the cables supporting the famously beautiful Golden Gate Bridge. 100 years ago, steel industrial giants started in South San Francisco, and they embodied the cutting-edge, innovative technology of their day. Our predecessors' dreams became realities through critical thought, great risk, sweat, and determination. Today, our creativity and innovation is as strong as ever. While the industry is different, the engine that has driven this city's success for over 100 years has not changed. Our entrepreneurship, risk-taking, and industrious spirit set us apart from many other neighboring communities. Make no mistake and hear me clearly. South San Francisco proudly remains the industrial city. We, like our predecessors, challenge the status quo and are able to build something meaningful. The people of South San Francisco stand proudly on the shoulders of the industrial giants of our past, while lifting the next generation up, allowing us, in this new, much stronger economy, to reach even greater heights. We honor the past while building for the future. Our new economy is anchored by a thriving biotech community, which continues to grow. Today, South San Francisco is home to the largest biotech cluster in the world, with over 150 biotech companies and 11 million square feet of biotech space. We have the nation's premier life sciences workforce drawing from nearby UCSF, Stanford, and other world-class academic institutions. And yes, Carol, that includes UC Berkeley. Carol's a grad. What's even more exciting is we have another 5 million square feet of new R&D space approved, much of it already under construction. Take Genentech, for example. Genentech just cut the ribbon on a new 7-story R&D building and now plans to construct a new 4-story employee center on the upper campus, which will include a gym, a cafeteria, a career center, and a medical clinic. In South San Francisco, Genentech employs over 11,000 people on 250 acres and is investing over $200 million to expand and upgrade its facilities in this city. This is clearly an example of a company committed to our community. Another biotech success this year, Johnson & Johnson hosted the grand opening of J-Labs, now located here in South San Francisco. Yeah, that's me banging the gong up there. Different type of ribbon cutting. The J-Lab site is capable of housing and nurturing up to 56 independent startup pharmaceutical companies. I could go on, but I will call your attention to just one more, Calico. Calico is an R&D biotech company established 2 years ago by Google and Art Levinson, former CEO of Genentech. Its mission is to stop the negative effects of aging and age-related diseases. Calico chose to locate in South San Francisco last year, is already expanding, and represents a new generation of R&D which merges traditional biotech with Silicon Valley high-tech with a world-changing vision, which could forever positively impact humankind. Amazing. Right here in South San Francisco. Our positive growth does not stop with biotech. More than $250 million has been invested in South San Francisco over the past 12 months alone, as evidenced by the construction scene east of 101 and around the city. Projects at our doorstep now are changing the face of South San Francisco. For example, a new $55 million Caltrain station is funded and will go into construction next year. It will open in 2019 at the foot of Grand Avenue, transforming our downtown and our whole city. And I just want to say bravo to my colleague, Councilmember Matsumoto, and city staff who partnered with the San Mateo County Transportation Authority to gain $49 million for this project, and to all of my colleagues on the council who allocated the remaining $6 million to make a new Caltrain station possible. Some projects, as I mentioned, east of 101 include the Britannia Cove development, which is being developed by HCP as a premier biotech R&D campus along the waterfront at Oyster Point. The site grading is underway, and the first 2 buildings will start construction this summer. The completed project will include 7 mid-rise R&D buildings, totaling 884,000 square feet, plus a parking garage, retail space, and open space. In addition, the Cove development will include a 185-room AC Marriott hotel, which starts construction towards the end of this year. Biomed Realty is another biotechnology developer that is very active here in South San Francisco. Biomed's largest project is the Pacific Gateway campus, which will include more than 1.2 million square feet of biotech R&D development, plus a large amenity building and open space. Last but not least, more than 14 new restaurants have recently opened in the downtown, and they are bringing a new vitality to the street scene along Grand Avenue and Linden Avenues. One such establishment is the Armstrong Brewery, which opens later this year at 415 Grand Avenue. As we all know, where there's new development, there's a need for new housing. Developers will build much needed housing, including over 500 units in the downtown in the next 24 months. New residences will be located on Airport Boulevard, Grand Avenue, Linden Avenue, and Miller Avenue, and include a new affordable senior housing development operated by our own Rotary Club, affording 100 quality units to our senior citizens. There are over 300 units being built outside the downtown, 285 units at Centennial Village, a new retail center, and 37 new units on Mission Road. Over 1,000 more units will likely be built in South San Francisco over the next 5 years. Our economic success, however, has made transportation a challenge. In addition to improving our Caltrain station, we recently obtained funding allowing for a free shuttle service across town to supplement Samtrans bus service that was severely cut in 2013. Since November, more than 100 riders per day have enjoyed this free service. We're also working to improve our ferry service. increasing ridership. Our ferry service offers commuters a morning, midday, and afternoon water commute, and ridership has grown to a record-breaking number of commuters each and every week. We've improved our street grid by resurfacing 15% of the city's road network, and we'll continue to invest in our roads. We're improving existing bike lanes and opening new bike lanes on Forbes Avenue and Oyster Point Boulevard. We are vastly improving safety for pedestrians, installing passive detection pedestrian crosswalk signals with high visibility flashing beacons on Mission Road at El Camino High School, Grand Avenue, and Orange Avenue. Thanks to the dedication of our Director of Public Works, Brian McMinn, we've completed a great number of public works projects just this past year. Public Works has been busy because, now more than ever, it's easier to engage with the city and share what's going on in our neighborhood through the use of the new free mobile application called Engage SSF. You can put it on your phone like this. You can report problems you notice throughout the city. Even if you simply have a suggestion, we want to hear from you. You can also report issues on the city website, www.ssf.net. If you see something, let us know. Public safety remains a top priority in South San Francisco, and I'm pleased to report we are a very safe city. When compared against 7 similar cities in the Bay Area, South San Francisco came out on top as an extremely safe place to live, to work, to play, and to shop. We will continue our emphasis on safety by recruiting, training, and retaining high-quality police officers that are well-equipped to serve our growing community. One challenge we do face, however, is our outdated and undersized police headquarters. You may not remember that our police station was an old department store built in the late 1950s and converted in 1981 to the police station with the notion it would last approximately 30 years. Well, here we are 34 years later, and it's time to consider building a 21st century state-of-the-art police operations center, providing better facilities for police officers and greater assurance for reliable 9/11 emergency response. I'd be remiss if I did not share a debt of gratitude to our new police chief, Jeff Azzopardi, who has done a highly recommendable job. That's a nice picture, Jeff. Excuse me, Mike. We also welcomed a new fire chief this year, Jerry Coleman. We have one of the best, if not the best, fire departments in the entire Bay Area. Our fire department also provides outstanding emergency medical services for our citizens. Did you know that every one of our firefighters is required to be a paramedic? Did you know that South San Francisco is the only city in the county to operate its own ambulance service? We have the best medical response in the county. Quality of life is important in South San Francisco. An active and robust park system is critical. We have an amazing Parks and Recreation Department led by Sharon Reynolds, who was recently recognized as the top Parks and Recreation Administrator for the entire state of California. Kudos to you, Sharon. One recent success, our Parks and Recreation Department, in partnership with the school district, successfully applied for the Big Lift grant funding, which will bring almost $2 million to South San Francisco each year for the next 3 years. This will allow us to expand our pre-K educational programs. It is a goal in our city to have every child enter kindergarten well prepared and reading proficiently by the 3rd grade. And we just went to a Big Lift event this morning over at the Fernicke Center. It was really well attended, and congratulations to those who participated and made that possible. When it comes to public art, 3 new pieces were acquired this year, including a heart sculpture entitled Twilight Rain, donated to the city by Genentech and installed here at the Conference Center. We also obtained 2 sculptures, Stainless Sphere and Salmon's Shadow, which will be installed at the Sculpture Garden. However, Our parks and facilities have taken a hit during the most recent recession, and updates are needed. We, as a community, must look carefully at improving and increasing our investment in parks and recreation, as we know that in the past 6 months alone, more than 50,000 residents have enjoyed our public parks, and we want them to continue to do so. During the past year, we have engaged in a strategic planning process which makes recommendations for not only improving existing parks, facilities, and programs, but also for future development. This master plan provides a clear path to accomplishing the community's vision through achievable steps in both short and long terms. Equally robust is the library, which receives nearly 500,000 visits a year. Many of you may have attended one or more of the town hall meetings. Those who did had a chance to experience our vision for the library. Our library director, Valerie Sommer, has prompted our revisioning of the library as a hub of civic engagement and connection. It will be a welcoming space for reading, for learning, playing, meeting, and conducting business. As a user-centered platform for you, the community, to access tools and resources, it will enrich your lives. To give you an idea of activity this year, the library hosted more than 1,500 special events and programs, including author readings, book signings, cooking demonstrations, financial well-being seminars, and health and wellness programs. I encourage you to get involved and check us out. Finally, those of you wondering about the Grand Avenue Library expansion, the renovation project is on track to begin construction this fall. The city will invest $1.5 million to upgrade this Carnegie Library to bring it into the 21st century. Last year, we established water conservation practices that exceed mandatory water restriction. Kudos to the citizens of South San Francisco, as our city is a leader in water conservation throughout the state, but we can always do more. We're kicking off our water conservation campaign on June 1st by permanently shutting off the fountain at City Hall, saving 28,000 gallons of water every year. Our theme is Every Drop Counts. I encourage you to do the little things when it comes to water conservation, because as we all know, it all adds up. The good news that I have just shared with you could not be possible without the collaborative and committed council, including Vice Mayor Adiego, council members Gupta, Matsumoto, and Normandy. I'd also like to thank our new city manager, Mike Futrell, and his remarkably hardworking staff. This is your winning team. Let's give them all a great round of applause. In closing, some may think about progress as a deviation from the norm, but there's a new century of progress happening right here in South San Francisco. Turn the page. Sorry about that. We have a great story to tell, a story of resilience, reinvention, and revitalization. To quote FDR, "The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. Let's move forward with strong and active faith." As your mayor, I'm here to tell you that we will assuredly attain meaningful and sustainable progress while remaining proudly the industrial city. We will embrace our heritage, remembering our past, but we'll be looking to the future. Thank you all very much for being here today. I appreciate your coming. Thank you.